وقل رب زدني علما.
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. Shall we have the class from the class of Tafseer Surah An'aam? Inshallah, we're going to start from verse 123. Surah An'aam, verse 123. That's Surah 6, verse 123. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وكذلك جعلنا في كل قرية أكابر مجرميها ليمكروا فيها وما يمكرون إلا بأنفسهم وما يشعرون. وكذلك جعلنا في كل قرية أكابر مجرميها ليمكروا فيها وما يمكرون إلا بأنفسهم وما يشعرون. Inshallah, one of the brothers to read for us from the Sharh explanation of Sheikh Sa'di rahimahullah for this ayah.
قال المؤلف رحمه الله: قال الله تعالى: وكذلك جعلنا في كل قرية أكابر مجرميها، أي الرؤساء الذين كبر جرمهم واشتد طغيانهم، ليمكروا فيها بالخديعة والدعوة إلى سبيل الشيطان ومحاربة الرسل وأتباعهم بالقول والفعل، وإنما مكرهم وكيدهم يعود على أنفسهم، لأنهم يمكرون ويمكر الله والله خير الماكرين. وكذلك يجعل الله كبار أئمة الهدى وأفاضلهم يناضلون هؤلاء المجرمين ويردون عليهم أقوالهم ويجاهدونهم في سبيل الله، ويسلكون بذلك السبل الموصلة إلى ذلك، ويعينهم الله ويسدد رأيهم ويثبت أقدامهم، ويداول الأيام بينهم وبين أعدائهم، حتى يدول الأمر في عاقبته بنصرهم وظهورهم، والعاقبة للمتقين. وإنما ثبت أكابر المجرمين على باطلهم وقاموا برد الحق الذي جاءت به الرسل حسدا منهم وبغيا، فقالوا: لن نؤمن حتى نؤتى مثل ما أوتي رسل الله من النبوة والرسالة. وفي هذا اعتراض منهم على الله.
حسبك إن شاء الله. If someone will read for us the translation of Sheikh Sa'di. جزاكم الله خير. That ayah explanation of Sheikh Sa'di. Verse 123. Only that verse. وكذلك جعلنا في كل قرية.
Bismillah. Is he who was dead, and we gave him life, and for whom we set a light, with which he can walk among men, like him who is in darkness, from which he can never emerge. In this way the deeds of the disbelievers are made to seem alluring to them. Thus we have placed in every town great evildoers to carry out their schemes. But they scheme only against themselves, without perceiving it. When there comes to them a sign from Allah, they say, "We shall not believe until we are given the same as what Allah's messengers were given. Allah knows best with whom to entrust His message." Humiliation before Allah and severe torment will befall the evildoers for their scheming.
أحسنت بارك الله فيك. Continue. The verse finished. That verse finished. طيب. In this ayah, Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَا فِي كُلِّ قَرْيَةٍ أَكَابِرَ مُجْرِمِيهَا. And thus we have set up in every town great ones of its wicked people, ليمكروا فيها, to plot therein. وما يمكرون إلا بأنفسهم وما يشعرون. But they plot not except themselves, except against their own self, and they perceive it not. In this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that the leaders and the great ones are the most wicked people. The great ones of every city are the most wicked people, those who misguide the rest. The great ones with wealth or with status are those who misguide the rest. And they do not plot except against their own selves, but they do not know it. They perceive it not. Therefore, the people of knowledge, they talk about which one is better. المنعم الشاكر أو المبتلى الصابر. Who of those two category of the people is better? The one who is upon blessings and he gives thanks to Allah, or the one who is in restraint, in hardships, poor, sick, and the like, but he remains patient with Allah's decree. Who of those is better? For instance, sometimes somebody who is wealthy, somebody who is a leader, someone who is with worldly status, but at the same time he gives his thanks to Allah. He's not arrogant, he's not pride, he is very grateful to Allah Azza wa Jal. That's someone. The other one is someone who is poor, who is sick, he is weak, and he remains patient. Who of those is better? Now, Ahsant. One brother said, Barakallahu fi, is the one who is better with a great reward is the one who is patient with hardship, with afflictions. Because Allah mentioned in Quran that those people, their reward is given without accounting. إنما يوفى الصابرون أجرهم بغير حساب. نعم, another answer. أحسنت. Yes. Another brother said, rather it is the one who is rich but thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is greater than the one who is poor and remain patient. Why? Because he said the one who is poor, because of the situation he's going through, he goes back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he asks Allah help, he remembers Allah. Unlike the one who is rich, he may not remember Allah because of being busy with his status. Those two opinions were said by some ulama. Some scholars they said that, some scholars they said that. Each group looking at one side. So, no doubt that what destroyed the person is his problem. As for the individual, he may be misguided, he may deviate because of poverty. Allah mentioned that. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى حَرْفٍ فَإِنْ أَصَابَهُ خَيْرٌ اطْمَأَنَّ بِهِ وَإِنْ أَصَابَتْهُ فِتْنَةٌ انقلب على وجهه. Among people, those who worship Allah on edge, if their life is a smooth, easy life, they remain upon their religion. If Allah tests them with affliction, they turn away. They turn away. So as for those people, the shortage of life, the poverty, the afflictions is what caused them to deviate. As for other people, Allah mentioned that what destroyed them is the wealth. What destroyed them is the wealth. Rather, this is all the human except those Allah protected them. Because Allah said in Quran, Surah Zukhruf, وَلَوْلَا أَن يَكُونَ النَّاسُ أُمَّةً وَاحِدَةً لَجَعَلْنَا لِمَنْ يَكْفُرُ بِالرَّحْمَنِ لِبُيُوتِهِمْ سُقُفًا مِّن فِضَّةٍ وَمَعَارِجَ عَلَيْهَا يَظْهَرُونَ وَلِبُيُوتِهِمْ أَبْوَابًا وَسُرُرًا عَلَيْهَا يَتَّكِئُونَ وَزُخْرُفًا. In this ayah, Allah mentioned, if the people were not the same origin, they were not the same in nature, that they being affected by the worldly life, Allah would have give the disbelievers a life full of luxury. In a way, He makes their houses out of gold. Even the house of the kuffar, let alone the dishes, let alone the jewelry, even the house, the wall itself, the door, the gate to be out of gold. Allah would have did that for the disbelievers if that will not affect the believers themselves. If that wouldn't be a fitna to the believers. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala limit subhanahu wa ta'ala His provision to the human. Because if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would have opened all His gates of worldly life to them, even the believers disbelieve. So in this, that the worldly life is fitna, is a big trial. And always, those who used to oppose the messengers were the people with status. Always. And those who followed the messengers were the weak ones, were the poor people, were the slaves, were those people. So in this verse, so when you look that way, you say actually the wealth, the status is the big fitna. It's the big fitna. It's hard to be patient with that status. Unlike the poverty, the weakness, the sickness itself is leads the person to go back to Allah and to know His reality, and that is in need of His law. When you look that way. But it's whatever destroys the person is the worst to him. Some people are destroyed by the poverty, by the sickness, and some people are destroyed by the wealth. But generally, the wealth is the biggest fitna. Therefore, the ulama, they said, Prophet Musa, Prophet Yusuf, like Shaykh Taymiyyah, Prophet Yusuf being patient from the woman who call him to the sin, that's harder than Prophet Ayub being patient with the sickness. Prophet Ayub was sick 18 years. He has to endure patience. Allah praised him with patience. So, Shaykh Taymiyyah says, Prophet Yusuf suffered more than Prophet Ayub. Because this is affliction and this is a desire. This is to the person. And this one is not in his hand. It's not in his hand. Al-Muhim, so the wealth is a test. And in a way, some people, they even thought they have wealth because Allah loves them. Because of their worldly status, they thought it's because of their personality, because their quality. That's why they're wealthy. Yes, big fitna. قال إنما أوتيت على علم عندي. قارون, wealthy man. Even the keys of the stores of the treasury, the key, just the keys, has to be handled by a group of men, strong men. Just the keys, let alone what's inside the stores of worldly life. This man, one day they tell him, fear Allah. Allah who gave you this, he said, إنما أوتيت على علم عندي. I was given this based on that Allah knows I deserve. This is one of the meaning. One that Allah knows that I deserve. And another meaning, I get this because of my knowledge, because of my smartness. Don't you hear today some disbeliever is very wealthy, and they attach that to themselves. It is me, look my wealth. I'm rich because I'm smart. I'm rich because I know how to handle things. He's attaching that to himself. While in reality, wallahi, there are people who are more smarter than him, more knowledgeable than him, have more quality than him, but they're poor. Because this provision is a test from Allah. It has nothing to do with how many degrees you have, how many qualifications you have. It has nothing to do with that. Therefore, you find someone who was poor, and after a very short time, Allah make him very rich. Someone who was rich, he was a leader, he was with high status. After a very short time, he is someone, everyone ran from him. So it's Allah who controls the matter. So the wealth is fitna. So every nation, those who used to corrupt, Allah said in this ayah, were the great ones. كذلك جعلنا في كل قرية أكابر مجرميها. The criminals of that town was the great ones. In a way, when Allah sent Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Quraysh, they surprised that. They say, how Allah, if Allah is sending a messenger, why he sending someone who was orphan? Someone who is, why Allah doesn't send someone, great man from Mecca or great man from Ta'if, from Thaqif? Because to them, that's the way they see life. The one with a lot of wealth, the one with a lot of followers, the one, to them is the one with the stars. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jalla said, وَإِذَا جَاءَتُمْ آيَةٌ قَالُوا لَن نُؤْمِنَ حَتَّى نُؤْتَى مِثْلَ مَا أُوتِيَ رُسُلُ اللَّهِ. And when there comes to them a sign, means from Allah, they say, we shall not believe until we receive the like of that which the messengers of Allah have received. They say they are not going to believe until they receive from Allah what the messengers receive from Allah of message. Why Allah doesn't make them messengers? They're more qualified. If Allah is choosing a messenger, they say why? In the same surah, Surah An'aam, قالوا أهؤلاء من الله عليه من بيننا. They say, are those whom Allah chose them among us? Means the Ammar bin Yasir, Bilal radiallahu anhum, the Sahaba who were poor, some of them were slaves. They believe in him, in Allah Azza wa Jal. They accepted Islam. The arrogant ones, the one with the stars, they say, did Allah chosen those among us? That doesn't make sense. That didn't happen. That's not the right religion. It would have been right religion, Allah would have chosen us. This is the way they think it because they are deceived with worldly life. Some people, Nasallallahu salam al-afiyah, the worldly life to them, that's what matters them. That's their God. That's who they worship. That's their heart attached to. They live for it. They die for it. They focus on it. Worldly life. Therefore, whoever with worldly life, they consider him being good. The one less, they consider him failure. They say he's a failure. Why he's failure? He has good akhlaq, he has good manner, he is a hard worker. Just simply because he have less income, that's all to them. Yes, and the other one is corrupted, he's a criminal. Since how he knows how to, he collects so much money or he has so much interaction with the people, they say they consider him happy with the stars. So Allah said, when they say that, we shall not believe until we receive the like of that which the messengers of Allah have received. Allah said, Allahu a'lamu haythu yaj'alu risalat. Allah knows best with whom to place his messenger, to his message. Allah knows best with whom to place his message. So when they say, why Allah wouldn't send such and such, وقالوا لولا نزل هذا القرآن على رجل من القريتين عظيم. هلا نزل. Why this Quran was not revealed unto, was not sent unto someone from the two cities, but a great person? Why? Allah answered, Allahu a'lamu haythu yaj'alu risalata. Allah knows best. Allah knows best with whom to place his message. Allah knows who qualify to take his message, who will be thankful to Allah, who will appreciate that, who will stand firm on it, who will accept it. Allah knows subhanahu wa ta'ala who he is sending as his messenger. Allahu a'lamu حيث يجعل رسالة. So today you see somebody saying so and so, he died, he was not Muslim, but really if he would have been accepted Islam, he would have been from the best. Who told you that? Do you know better than Allah Azza wa Jal? If that would have any khair, any good in him, he would have entered Islam, regardless how nice he is to the people. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He knows His servant. Before He created them, Allah, He knows who is good, who deserves to be qualified, to be guided, who is not. So never ever say such and such shouldn't be a Muslim, or such and such should be Muslim. Leave that with Allah Azza wa Jal. You don't know the creation of Allah Azza wa Jal. You don't know their reality. It's only Allah who knows the reality of the people. So leave the future for Allah, the unseen for Allah. Allah said, سيصيب الذين أجرموا صغار عند الله. Humiliation and disgrace from Allah and a severe torment will overtake the criminals for that which they used to plot. Humiliation. سيصيب الذين أجرموا صغار عند الله. A humiliation and disgrace from Allah and a severe torment will overtake the criminals for that which they used to plot. So since those people are arrogant in this life, they rejected the message of the messengers. They belittled the believers. They looked them down. They were arrogant in their wealth, in their worldly status. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will punish them by making humiliated, sigar, disgrace in the hereafter. So since they seek the highness in a wrong way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will humiliate them. So the one who seek in this life highness, he seek pride, he seek those things in a wrong way, in return Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will humiliate. Prophet ﷺ said, لَيَنْتَهَيَنَّ أَقْوَامٌ يَفْتَخِرُونَ بِآبَائِهِمْ أَوْ لَيَجْعَلَهُمُ اللَّهُ أَهْوَنَ مِنَ الْجُعْلَانِ الذي يدحدح النتن في أنفه, كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Prophet ﷺ said, those people who feel pride with their fathers, I am from such father, I am from such clan. Prophet ﷺ said they will stop, or Allah will make them in the day of judgment more humiliated than and more than the ju'lan, this type of insect or which move the stool or the smelling stuff by his tongue, by his nose. What do you call it? Yes, what's called in English? This is, it has 4 legs. It moves the stool of the animal or the human being with its nose. Don't beetle. Barakallahu fiqh. Yes. They say, subhanallah, if you bring perfume, he dies. You bring the stool, he wake up. So Prophet ﷺ said, those who feel pride, those who's arrogant with their fathers, their ancestors, because the Arabs Jahiliyyah person used to count. This is from me. This is my father. This is my uncle. This is where I'm from. Until they end up counting people who are in the grave. أَلْهَاكُمُ التَّكَاثُرُ حَتَّى زُرْتُمُ الْمَقَابِرِ. What makes you busy is at-takathur. I am more than you. Until you visit the graves. You mention those who are in the graves. So those people who have this arrogance, pride with their fathers, belittle the rest of the people, they will stop, Prophet said, or Allah will make them the day of judgment more humiliated than that insect. Very, so unlike the people who don't look for highness in this dunya, they don't look for status in this dunya, they will have Jannah. تلك الدار الآخرة نجعلها للذين لا يريدون علوا في الأرض ولا فسادا. Allah said, that is akhir. We made for those who don't want 2 things. علوا في الأرض. What's علوا في الأرض? Yes, علو, highness on earth. They don't want status. They are not seeking worldly life. They don't want to be famous. They don't want to have leadership. They don't want to be, so they are not seeking worldly highness. They are not seeking high worldly status. That's not their goal. If Allah brings it, that's different. But that's not why they live. That's not what they, or they don't want also fasadan, corruption, sin. Some people, they wish they could be alcohol seller, or they could be alcohol addicted, they could do haram. Some people, this is the way they like. They enjoy the sin, ayadan billah. They plan. One of them, he chew the qat. You know the qat? I don't know in English. It's a type of tree. I don't know in English. It's not allowed in this country. But in some Muslim country, they eat day and night. Allah al-Musta'an. Day and night. It's like, yes. Ahsanta, barakallahu fiqh, Abu Muhammad. It's like a leaves which have a type of intoxication, type of it. A person even doesn't know where he is. If he take a lot, he doesn't know where he is. An only man, he tell me one time, Allah have mercy, he died. He said, people arguing, is it allowed or is it not allowed? Is it intoxicant? No. He said it's intoxicant. They don't know these people. And he mentioned what happened to him. He said one night he eat and he walk. When he walk, he fell down. Why he fell down? Because he think where he put in his feet is a hole. And you know when you expect you put in your feet hole, and when you expect it's a little uphill, and it's really hole, you don't walk normal. So he said he fell down the ground. And they say this is not intoxication. It is, he said. So this qat, I forget what I was talking about, subhanallah. طيب. The qat, أحسنت أكرمك الله جزاك الله خير محمد. Yes. So this one, he is the man of who consume qat. He eat qat. One time he's seeking, he's looking, one time he's eating, one time he's sleeping. That's all their life. They forget about their wives, forget about their children, a lot of things. A lot of things. Borrow. Promise, lie, promise. Whole night he's building oceans, big palace on the oceans. And in the morning he doesn't have anything in hand. If you see one of them, how happy he is, you're surprised. He promised you so much money. He doesn't have anything, but he's very happy. What do you call this? He feel high or something. Al-Muhim. He said, this person, he said he wish whole city. These people, when they eat in this qad, what they do? They face one another. They have two group, two line. One line is here, one line is here. And they have tea in the middle, something to eat, these trees. And they have talking all night, arguing. They like that way. He said he wish whole city to be like that. A'udhu billah. So this one, he has a desire for sin. Another one, worst. I mentioned this before. He's worse than that. He said he wish he was somewhere in Africa. He said he wish he would see himself on a motorcycle, Yamaha, in Canada, with his wife, no hijab. What is the point, ya akhi? What do you benefit from? Your wife being behind you, no hijab, in Canada. So this one, he's seeking ma'asiyah. لا يريدون علوا في الأرض ولا فسادا. The people of Jannah, they're not seeking highness. I was a little young. A child was 7 years old. I asked him, what do you like to be in your future? He said he want to be a policeman, a cop. I said, why? He said, I want to tell people, go, and they go, stop, they stop. 6, 7 years old. So it's seeking leadership. Even though he's young. But somebody has that. That's his goal. He want to command people. He want to tell them do. Stop. They listen to him. He's seeking highness. Another one, the one who's seeking whole city to be a place of consuming qad. He's seeking ma'asiyah. Jannah is not for those two groups. A Muslim can fall into sin. He may end up committing sin. But that's not his goal in life. That's not his goal in life. Iyadhan billah. Al-Muhim. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in this ayah that those who say they shall not believe until they receive the like of that which the messenger of Allah has received, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will humiliate them and disgrace them and will punish them severely because of what they used to plot, means misguide the other people. They know they are upon misguidance. They know that, and they do what they do for worldly status. They want to remain on leadership. They want to remain with worldly status, but they're not telling that to the people. They misguide the other. Yeah, they misguide the other. Allah said, فَمَنْ يُرِدِ اللَّهُ أَنْ يَهْدِيَهُ يَشْرَحْ صَدْرَهُ لِلْإِسْلَامِ. And whosoever Allah wills to guide, He opens his breast to Islam. وَمَنْ يُرِدْ أَنْ يُضِلَّهُ يَجْعَلْ صَدْرَهُ ضَيِّقًا حَرَجًا. And whosoever Allah wills to send astray, He makes his breast close and constructed, as if he is climbing up to the sky. Thus Allah puts the wrath on those who believe not. In this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the signs of those whom Allah guide and the signs of those who are upon astray. How do you know yourself and how the people knows you, if you are upon guidance or if you are upon astray? This is the sign. فَمَنْ يُرِدِ اللَّهُ أَنْ يَهْدِيَهُ يَشْرَحْ صَدْرَهُ لِلْإِسْلَامِ. Whosoever Allah wills to guide, He opens his heart to Islam. So if you find yourself, you love Islam, you like to pray, you like to fast, you like to give zakah, you like to be obedient to your parents, you like to treat people well, you like to seek knowledge, you love ibadah, you love the worship of Allah, find out, remember Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala guide you. Thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that. Be grateful to Allah and be upon that path. If you find on the other hand, you find yourself what Allah mentioned in this ayah, وَمَنْ يُرِدْ أَنْ يُضِلَّهُ يَجْعَلْ صَدْرَهُ ضَيِّقًا حَرَجًا كَأَنَّمَا يَصَّعَّدُ فِي السَّمَاءِ. And whosoever here Allah wills to send astray, He makes his heart closed and constructed as if he is climbing up to the sky. Imagine someone who is asked to climb up to the sky. He's not able. Some of the mashayikh of our time said, maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pointing out this ayah that going up, the person to go up, to go to the sky is hard on the human. That's why who going up, they take oxygen with them. Some of them said, but the meaning that those people who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send them astray, it is like they are climbing up to the sky. So prayer is hard on them, fasting is hard on them, giving zakah is hard on them, doing the right is hard on them, very heavy on them. Very heavy on them. To listen khair, to listen good, to hear about Allah is very heavy on them. This is a sign of misguidance. So the sign of the one who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide him is to have desire, to have love for the faith. As Allah said in another ayah, وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ حَبَّبَ إِلَيْكُمُ الْإِيمَانِ. But Allah made you, means all the companion of Prophet ﷺ, love the faith. وَزَيَّنَهُ فِي قُلُوبِكُمْ. And Allah purified the faith in your hearts. So in their heart, the Sahaba heart, Iman is very beautiful. Act of worship is very beautiful. To them, they have love for the religion of Allah Azza wa Jal. They have love. So this is the sign of guidance. If you find you love the Salah, you feel bad not to pray, you feel bad to delay it, you feel bad not to fast, you feel bad not to remember Allah, you have desire to remember Allah. One of the Sahaba, whenever he lead people, he recites Surah after Fatiha, he used to recite Qul Huwallahu Ahad. When he was asked, he said he loved mentioned in Allah Azza wa Jal. He loved Qul Wallahu Ahad because it describes Allah. So the sign of that Allah guide you is when you have desire, when you love the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You hate to disobey Allah Azza wa Jal. You feel bad to disobey Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah guide you. On the other hand, if you find obeying Allah hard on your chest, hard on you, very heavy on you, then that is a sign of عياذا بالله misguidance. Allah said, كَذَلِكَ يَجْعَلُ اللَّهُ الرِّجْسَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Thus Allah puts the wrath on those who believe not. Then Allah said, وَهَذَا صِرَاطُ رَبِّكَ مُسْتَقِيمًا. And this is the path of your Lord, the Quran. Leading straight. مستقيمة, leading straight. قَدْ فَصَّلْنَا الْآيَاتِ لِقَوْمٍ يَذَّكَّرُونَ. We have detailed our revelation for a people who take heed. We have detailed our revelations for a people who take heed, those who listen, those who remember. So the Islam is the Siratullah al-Mustaqim, is the straight path of Allah. وهذا, and this is existing path already, is mustaqim, is straight. Is straight. قَدْ فَصَّلْنَا الْآيَاتِ لِقَوْمٍ يَذَّكَّرُونَ. We have detailed our revelation for a people who take heed. What do they get, these people? With Allah, لَهُمْ دَارُ السَّلَامِ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ. For them will be the home of peace. لَهُمْ دَارُ السَّلَامِ. For them will be the home of السلام, peace. عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ, with their Lord. It's in the Jannah. وَهُوَ وَلِيُّهُمْ بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. And He will be their wali, their helper, their protector, because of what they used to do. Because of what they used to do. Not because how they used to look like. Not because of their lineage. Not because of who loved them, who hate them, but because of what they used to do. Actions. In this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned what He prepared for the people who are upon guidance in this life, which is Darus Salam, the house of As-Salam, the house of Salam, the home of peace, paradise. Peace, the house of peace. In the Jannah, there's peace there. Peace of mind, in every meaning. Anything contrary to the peace and security and happiness is not in Jannah. It is Darus Salam. It's a place, there is, as Shaykh Sa'di said, there is no grief, there is no worry, there is no anxiety, there is no depression. In the Jannah, there is no harm whatsoever, no pain, no sickness, not even sleeping, not death, nothing, forever. Forever. In this life, regardless how much you are in a good life, still you have to go through some hardships. This is the reality of this worldly life. Don't think those who are wealthy, don't think those who are so and so are having a life where there is no worry, there is no harm, there is no hardship whatsoever. That's not true. Everyone in this life. This is the way Allah created. And no one can change that way. إِنَّ لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. Allah said. Everyone must strive. SubhanAllah, you see today people who have millionaires, billionaires, and struggling, running day and night. If he divide his wealth and he assume he will live 100 years, he may get every day $1 million. Why he, and they don't give sadaqah, they don't give charity. He keep on increasing it. Why he doesn't rest? Khalas, buy a house, have car, rest. If you have every day $1 million to the next 150 years, what are you looking for? This is the life. If he is given one value of gold, Prophet ﷺ said, he wants another one. لا يملأ جوف ابن آدم إلا تراب. Nothing fill the belly of man but sand. nothing else. So if this person is given a value of gold, a stone mountain area of gold, he wants another stone mountain of gold. This is how the life is. Therefore, the wiseness, the faith is from this life to only use that which help you to get Darus Salam, which help you to get the home of peace. This is the wiseness. This is really the Iman. Yes, worldly life you need it because you live in it. You have to eat, you have to drink, you have to sleep. That's all you need. And would you give us sadaqah? Would you help with your beloved ones? But to make your goal, all of dunya, gather it, you will never have peace in this life. Complete peace. You will not have complete peace. So the complete peace is with Allah. لَهُمْ دَارُ السَّلَامِ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ. For them will be the home of peace, paradise, with their Lord, means in the Jannah. وَهُوَ وَلِيُّهُمْ, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is their wali, their ally, their helper, their protector. Why Allah gave those people, He gave them the home of peace? Why Allah make those people enter Jannah? بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ, because of what they used to do, not because of what they used to say, not because of what they used to wish, but because of what they used to do. So many ayat, those who enter Jannah, enter paradise because of their actions. So many verses, those who enter hellfire, they only enter hellfire because of their actions. And here we know the importance of the righteous action. وَأَن لَيْسَ لِلْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى. Don't the man know that he will not get except what he earned? أَمْ لَمْ يُنَبَّأْ بِمَا فِي صُحُفِ مُوسَى وَإِبْرَاهِيمَ الَّذِي وَفَّى أَلَّا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةُ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى وَأَن لَيْسَ لِلْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى. Man will not get except what he earned. Except what he earned. If your father is from the people of Jannah, but you don't believe in Allah, even if your father would have been a prophet, wouldn't benefit you that. Actions. So that is the way to the means to enter the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the home of peace, Darus Salam, Jannah, is to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to be upon that sirat, the straight path of Allah Azza wa Jalla, al-Islam. And the sign of that is you find you have desire to obey Allah. You love to worship Allah. You love the faith. You like to get close to Allah. On the other hand, you dislike and you hate to disobey Allah Azza wa Jalla. And the sign of misguidance is that the act of worship is heavy on you. Whenever it comes to ibadah, heavy on you. وَإِذَا ذُكِرَ اللَّهُ وَحْدَ اشْمَأَزَّتْ قُلُوبُ الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ. When Allah alone is mentioned, the disbelievers, they hate that. Only Allah is mentioned, they hate the most. Yes, one guy who was talking about these things, he knows a lot of worldly life, the politics, and I had a conversation, I say, I want to give da'wah this. Say, by the way, you know a lot about what happened around. One question, do you ever read about God? He said, listen, don't talk to me about God. And he faced the other side. Never you talk to me after that. Wallahi la ilaha ghayr. The man who was very happy, very interact, talking and answering, he tell me a lot of things I don't know even from where I come from. He knows a lot. I say, this man, since he read a lot, but think what do you know about Allah? I have a question. What do you read about God? Do you read about... He said, listen, don't talk to me about God. And he faces on his way. So this is a sign that this man is upon misguidance. To remembering his Lord, knowing about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is hardest on him. He hates that. The believer is the opposite. He enjoys with the remembrance of Allah. He loves Allah to be mentioned. He feels happy when Allah is mentioned. You see that sign of guidance, the sign of misguidance? We ask Allah to make us among those who guide them. Sallallahu alaihi wa sallam ala nabiyina Muhammad.